unconsciously. And for a moment you'll pop out and go, oh my God, I'm doing this. And then you'll pop back. Okay. So it's easier. It's easier.
What do you get in the second position?
Yeah. But I love what you guys, that's brilliant. It's reminds a little bit of Gestalt, no? Mm-hmm.
In cases where the person just doesn't seem to, even if you can kind of get them to see that person's side,
Mm-hmm.
they just don't care if the other person, you know, has a bad time with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what to do with that? Kind of show them, I guess, how it would affect them? Or
You can ask questions like, if you were in that position, how might that be for you?
Mm-hmm.
Or what kinds of things might be impacted? I wouldn't ask them how they feel.
Okay. So you try to get them to really take it more.
It depends on, you're going to want to pace where they are and ease it into their perspective already. Okay. Would you like more practice with this? Okay.
I think it might be all right.
It's all right.
That's very good.
I can see the possibility. I could do better if I understood this more.
Okay. We're going to do this more then. You're going to get to a new group so that you have experience. And I'd like you to stick to 3 and no more. If there ends up only to add, let's add a coach. Okay? So that we really get into this.
There's 16 people. So
There's
there's always
16.
one left over.
There'll be one left over. So we'll have 2 coaches join the group. Is that okay? Thanks.
I would volunteer also to work with coaches because I have something I really want to learn from this.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we have...
If that keeps anybody else from feeling like automatic.
Hey, I like when people ask for what they want. It's a good thing. So 2 coaches? This time we're
Well, I mean, they don't have to both. I'm willing to be with one of the coaches anyways.
Okay, well, we could do 1 coach.
Yeah, I don't look at this person.
I don't want to be too selfish.
Okay.
Just selfish enough.
You're assuming selfish is bad. No, there are complex equivalents that go with that word. That might be. Yeah. Interesting. Okay, so we're going to do this again. And I invite you to steal ideas. If you have an issue that you'd like to externalize into the 2 parts, give A and B the 2 sides of an issue. Fill them in on it.
Just duke it out.
Yeah. Well, that's one way to put it.
And whoever standing wins.
That's right. Yeah, right. C's little stretch here in this is to establish rapport with one side in all the nonverbal ways and establish rapport by verbal agreement with the other one. Now, I'm also going to give you a little more flexibility. You know, we sat in a triad here, or triangle, triad in a triangle. Feel free to move your chair as you're relating to each side in any way you think might be creative, where you might learn something. And notice how it might be to establish rapport just out of eyesight of someone. And I'll give you an example. I used to belong into a group called Arbitration and Mediation Associates. And we provided arbitration services, and we trained lawyers in the skill of arbitration. We also provided a room. We had a special room built for arbitrations and mediations. We ourselves had a difficult situation in which there was a county court system whose judges were referring all of their arbitration courses to their former colleagues. And we were in competition with those colleagues. So we wanted to establish a connection with this court system. And we knew that the judge who was making these calls was prejudiced against us simply because his friends had started this other group. They were all former judges. So our goal was to establish a connection with this judge. That was it. It's our only goal. Let him know about us and establish some sort of connection to overcome some of the animosity. My partner, who is an attorney and had the content information that was useful, had one role, and he was to talk to the judge about the content of what we had to offer, why we would be good. My job was simply to establish nonverbal rapport with the judge. And the way we ended up seated, we weren't in a lot of control about being brought into his realm, into his lair. And so but we ended up, and at first I thought it was a problem, we ended up at a rectangular table with the judge sitting here and my partner sitting here and me sitting here. So they were talking. So he was telling him the content of our message. And I was over here, and the only thing that I did, sort of out of the corner of my eye, because I was focused here, that would be appropriate, wouldn't listening to this and maybe turning here once in a while, was to match the nonverbals of the judge. His body posture, the tempo of his speech, I mimicked perhaps in a slight nod of my head. He said when we walked in, "I'll give you 5 minutes." So we sat down, we started talking. 10 minutes later, we're still talking. This is a good thing. I had, at that point, slipped into an unconscious rapport with this judge. The talk kept going on, so this was a good thing. Things kept going on. At one point, I popped back into conscious awareness of what was going on. And I was picking on an imaginary cuticle. But what do you call a cuticle that's come undone?
Hangnail.
Hangnail, thank you. Hangnail. And I looked over, and the judge was picking on a hangnail. And it was stunning to me that had happened. So we double teamed him. And it was so easy. And we had great rapport when we left. And he said, "I'm so glad that you came in and explained to me who you were and what you were doing." And it was really nice. We then had a connection, a network, and rapport. So you can do this. Now, because of our seating, we could do that. What I've done with, and you can play with this, I often work with families and they have an issue that they're arguing about. And often I try and find a place for them to tell each other their truth. And I will sit nearest the person who's receiving the truth because it might be painful. So I might sit just a little at an angle with them and establish nonverbal rapport while establishing verbal rapport with the person giving the information. So that allows both sides to feel in rapport with me and also to start to get rapport with each other. So play with how you sit. Be elegant with this. Don't be too obvious. Although remember, in here you get to play respectfully. Know that, however, you will delve into real things. So do be respectful. Even if you're making something up, it's like with Brant, you can make certain things up, but the other person will guess what's going on at unconscious level and throw it out, and guess what? It'll be true. So be respectful here with this. Okay? Any questions about what you're about to play with now? So new groups of 3. You can do either something, an issue you're dealing with, and put it out there in the two parts, or you can give them an imaginary or help them come up with something maybe they're dealing with, they want to play with. Establish rapport verbally with one, non-verbally with the other if you want to. If you just want to practice straight, go ahead and do that. Whatever is most useful to you in this situation. And again, play a little with where you sit, what you notice. If it gets heated automatically, what do you do? Any ideas?
Switch vision,
Say again?
like you did with me with the paper or the body language.
Yes, you can do that. You move the paper or the body language. You can stand up. As C, you can stand up and say, well, gathering the attention to, well, let's take a break. Or you can move to one side or another if you think there's imbalance. Move next to the person who seems to be a little lower in the energy at that point. So play with all of that. But again, your only job is not job yet is to solve this problem. It's only to elicit
Positive intention.
the intention in all the modalities of each side and establish rapport. Okay? So how about another half hour? And we'll see you back here. And then we're going to start doing something with this. We'll have a break in a moment. And so, you appeared to be having a very good time, getting very creative. What did you notice? What did you learn doing this? What questions came up for you? How was doing this again? Were you able to get to a more understanding, a deeper level, a broader level in doing this again?
I really felt like it was getting easier.
It was getting easier.
Especially to manage two people at the same time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Good. Did you? Yes, Monet.
I thought it was a little harder to only have verbal rapport with one.
Uh-huh.
Because
Because you wanted to have rapport with both? Good. 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 Yes?
I found out if you do a really good job in role playing, like really confident in it, people will start matching you automatically.
Automatically, yeah. Especially in this room. Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
I noticed that both people are trying to come up with solutions.
Uh-huh. How many of you found it difficult not to try and come up with solutions? Yeah. This is our normal mode of operation. What about go ahead.
But the hardest part was trying to come up, stopping myself from coming up with a solution that was my map of what should, or I think should happen in this situation. That was the hardest part.
Yes. Oh, and where else would we come up with solutions except our own map of reality? And what does, so I'm curious, and I'd like to invite you to be curious. What does coming up with solutions in a situation like that do for you? What are you trying? Yeah.
Make me feel good.
And how does that make you feel good? Tell me a
Because
little.
if there's conflict, then I mean, everyone's told me my whole life I've been the mediator, trying to make things all right, and then I realize it's so I can feel good.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe less stressed.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else?
Sometimes isn't there a feeling of superiority that you have the answers and they don't?
Sometimes that's feeling of superiority. I have the answer. Yeah.
I thought as I was asking them questions and starting to see what needs they really were trying to meet, then that was a time to try to, help them meet both.
It's almost like a field that opens up before you, and it's hard not to step into it.
Right.
Yeah.
Creating a good reputation among people.
Yeah. Starting your own reputation. Yes, it's hard. Some of us are uncomfortable with conflict. And to offer solutions, especially quickly, gets it over with. And